What's up, everybody? We have 10 minutes here. We have Eric and Jameson across the table from us. Jameson has come in pretty much anytime we're going to talk about or mention video games, so here we are. Fact of the matter is, though, what a crazy time of life we're in, and a lot of folks out there are going out and getting guns for the first time. So if you're listening to this podcast and that's you, and your only experience perhaps up until now has been playing some video games, which we all love. Mm-hmm. I got no problem with it. Mm-hmm. There may be some things that you notice that some video games got wrong. It's not their fault. They got to make them playable and all that stuff. I mean, really, if you actually had to do all the stuff maybe you have to consider when you're in real life, it just wouldn't be as fun.
No.
But let's throw out some things where I know I came in, first off, playing a lot of Call of Duty. And when I picked up a gun for the first time, went shooting, I was like, oh, this is a little bit different. So we're each going to name like 1, 2, I don't know, things that we thought of. Even Mark, you have one. You said you're really excited about.
I've got one kind of ish. Right. Yeah. But I don't want to.
He's ready.
Well, should we save
you really
yours for
set
last?
me up there, Jim.
Should we save yours for
No,
last?
not worth it for that.
Hey,
no.
give him the thing.
All right.
Button.
Oh, yeah. What do you... There we go.
Oh, you were generous with that.
I was generous. He doesn't like boo.
Yep.
Okay, I'll throw one out there. All right, so gun handling in video games is one thing that threw me off when I first picked up a gun. First off, I was like, well, it's way heavier than I thought, because in the game, you can run around with a Barrett 50 cal and just no problemo, just offhanding that thing.
Yep.
But anyway, I was thinking about this and holding your breath when trying to shoot a precision shot. Is that yours?
That was one of my two. I have
okay.
two. Yep, so carry on.
Not a thing. That doesn't work. So when you play Call of Duty and you're a sniper rifle, whatever, you're looking down the scope, and they always have this little thing where it's like when you're looking through, I think they tried to make it somewhat realistic where there's some motion to the reticle and all that. Yeah, there's some sway. Mm-hmm. So what they allow you to do is essentially press down a button that then makes your guy hold his breath.
Yep.
And that, in theory, steadies you out. So when I first started shooting, I've always found myself I got to hold my breath. That's how I'm going to eliminate this slight sway to my sight picture in the reticle. That's not the case. You actually want to maintain, when shooting, steady, calm breathing, and there's a natural pause in your breath as you exhale and just before you start to inhale again, and that is when you're actually at your most steady.
I like it.
I do know that's what you're supposed to do. I'm just going to say it right now. I hold my breath sometimes to execute, a precision shot for me.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'll hold my breath because, when you're breathing, you're kind of getting the up and down. You may not know exactly when you get to break that shot. Maybe something's kind of moving or whatever. And
Now,
you don't want to hold it forever. You can't hold it for 5 minutes.
Do you hold your breath like that, like breathing in and then holding, or do you hold your breath once you've breathed out and then you just hold it there at that?
I'll actually take a little inward breath and just kind of, so I don't deprive myself of oxygen. And
okay,
I'm just saying I've done it.
Because I know, if the problem is that if you hold your breath, you might be steady for a little bit, but after a while you start shaking more because you're sort of running out of oxygen.
Yes. But I already shake all the time as it is. I mean, my hand's constantly moving, so holding my breath does nothing.
About the 4 or 5 amps that you...
Yeah.
Could be that. Probably isn't, though, so we're fine.
Eric, we'll save March for last.
He's in denial.
All right, so mine is firepower. I'm going to pick on my favorite game, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. In what world does it make sense where I can shoot somebody 8 of my 20 rounds in the Browning BAR, and that doesn't kill them, but I shoot them once with the well rod?
The well rod.
Knocks them dead.
That thing is incredible. In the leg, too.
Yeah, anywhere.
Doesn't
you
matter.
hit them
in the
they're
foot,
toast.
one shot, dead.
And mine feeds right off that. I was going to do the same thing. I mean, I'm playing a lot of Warzone right now, so for those out there that are playing Call of Duty, it's free to play, 100 people, 150 in one battleground, last team standing wins. And I'll shoot a guy with, PKM 18 times, but he'll run up to me and punch me with the butt of his gun twice, and I die, and he's still alive.
Yep.
And it's I know if I did that in real life to someone that I was trying to inflict harm on or an animal or something like that, my 18 bullets from an LMG would probably cause them to die before me getting punched by a stock of a gun.
Yes.
That's so street, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is very street.
That is. Now, did you, I got to ask you, though. So, I came into shooting guns where I was I actually thought I had to hold my breath like the video game.
Yep.
Did you actually come into shooting guns where you're if I have a well rod, I can shoot the deer in the hoof and it's dead?
It was. I'm still trying to find a well rod out there. So if anyone has a lead on where one can find one,
B&T basically has one.
Really?
Now. Yeah.
Very interested because
Yeah.
that is the last hunting weapon that anybody needs.
Is it
One shot kill?
Yeah,
The well rod.
Yeah, mule deer, elk.
What is
Incredible.
Could you describe this for me?
It's a pistol that looks like it was made out of like a car muffler and a little like leftover magazine they found from some Saturday night special.
So it's very interesting. You shoot it. The guy, your person is right-handed. He shoots, and then from your first-person viewpoint, all of a sudden the left hand comes in, rotates something 90 degrees, pulls it out, reaches back in the pocket, and puts this one obscure little bullet in. Closes it, rotates it, and you're
it's
ready
like
to
a
go.
bolt-action pistol almost.
Yeah.
Single shot. It literally was made for assassinations.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, play the audio of a well rod.
Oh, right. Here's the audio of a well rod.
Got him.
That's
Beautiful.
pretty spot on, actually,
Yep.
because it was suppressed. It was integrally suppressed. It used wipes instead. It wasn't like baffled style or whatever. Maybe there was probably baffles in there or something, but
It was 1942, different time.
essentially, though, like it would get louder over time if you kept shooting it.
Oh, okay.
But your first few shots out of a railroad, I was doing some research in this because that was my favorite gun.
Really?
Extraordinarily quiet.
Yep.
it's like magic.
Very much.
Yep.
Very much.
All I could picture was was it a dowsing rod? Is that what they for finding water, like the forked apparatus? Is that what that's called? Or does that find gold?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about
No,
at all.
me either. Apparently.
What's your inaccuracy? Or wait, Jameson, did you
Yeah,
have
well,
another one?
I mean, I did have one
Yep.
on top of the two that you guys covered, and now that I'm trying to think of it, I can't seem to remember it at all. So just give me a moment while Mark goes,
Trajectory?
and I'll
How
think
about-
of it.
how
Oh
about-
yeah, it was
okay.
hip-fire accuracy. So I don't know, in Call of Duty, if you ever aim down the sights, naturally you get a perfect view of everything,
Yep.
and you can shoot just fine. The minute you do hip-fire, it's spraying bullets every direction, and not to say that you're not more accurate when you're aiming down the sights, but I think they overplay how bad you are shooting
When
hip fire.
hip-firing,
I
yep.
mean, I've shot with one of the green lasers down at the range, hip fire, not looking through the sights, and I actually hit 9 X rings on the
You
target.
literally just hip fire, or are you
It
talking
was-
about
it was
like
sitting
not
right there,
through the?
not through.
Oh, because you
Yep.
had a laser.
I had
so
a
you can
laser. I
visually
could see
it.
exactly where it was, and I just 10 rounds, boom, all in the X ring but one.
Jeez.
And then in Call of Duty, if
When
you're
you were
not
first
aiming
talking
down the
about-
sights, it's spray city.
Yep.
I mean, you're gonna hit the wall, the ceiling, whatever.
When you're first, I was down at the range hip fire, and I was like, oh, I think we've explained where those holes in the ceiling came from.
In the meeting invite, I just said blocking off 30 minutes for hip fire session.
There we go. Good. Marco,
Well, here's my. You guys might know this.
which
you probably
video games
do.
do you play? Did you play a little GoldenEye back in the college days?
A little bit of GoldenEye, but my inaccuracy actually comes from Mario Kart. Because I don't know the last time you guys fired a turtle at something, but I can say this: I have not done that, not effectively at least.
They don't go that fast.
Yeah.
The blue turtle shells, though. Ooh,
First
look
place
out.
killer.
Yeah.
That's why I always
Wait, was
ride
that
in
actually
second.
yours?
That's all. Or ammunition, right? Like it's like movies, video games. Like it's this unlimited ammunition. It seems like at time. You know?
Or the other big inconsistency is if you have let's say you have a 30-round mag and you shoot 9 of them, you somehow keep the 21 that were remaining
Right.
when you reload with a new 30-round mag.
Yeah, they
So it's
magically
like,
jump between
how
magazines.
did it jump to a different magazine? It's like, I
Well,
don't know.
right.
That's why in the movie John Wick, he's really conscious about how many shots he's taken. So
Yeah.
he actually, when he drops a mag, he will know that he has none left in it.
That was pretty cool.
That was a cool scene.
I'll throw out one other one that I was thinking of that I wanted to mention too, but I was waiting to see how much time we had. But okay, this I think, and if you're out there and you're you have an AR-15 or whatever, you've been swept up in building ARs and all that stuff, more power to you. Right on. But one thing that I think video games heavily contributed to in this industry is thinking that gear makes you better.
Yep.
And adding something to your gun will magically increase some pointage percentage or whatever.
3%
Yeah. Right.
accuracy.
So
increased.
you
Range.
used to always build out your gun, and this is what I remember from Call of Duty, is you'd build out your gun, and you would add, you'd have these little stat percentages
I know
things,
exactly
these
what you're
bars,
talking
right? Like
about.
stability,
Yep.
accuracy,
mobility, range, damage,
Fire rate.
damage, yeah, whatever.
penetration. Yep.
So you would add on a vertical foregrip, and boom, your stability would just go up instantly. You'd add on a long range scope, and your range would improve.
Yep.
And then you'd add on, I remember this
You'd
one.
add on a suppressor and it would
and your range would decrease.
Yeah.
We've mentioned this a little bit in the
And your
suppressor
damage would
podcast.
go
Yeah,
down, too.
Yeah, like somehow a suppressor makes your bullet
Significantly
go less
Jim,
far.
The good news is at times I feel that some different people try to base laws off these things.
You're not wrong. You're
Yeah.
not wrong at all.
So yeah, exactly. Talk about barrel shrouds. So dangerous. They just
Oh
if you
my
put a barrel
gosh.
shroud on your gun, instantly everything goes
Well, it's
to
got the
99.
thingy that goes up.
Yeah.
Hey.
But I do recall thinking that, and I thought to myself, you know, well, okay, this thing's a little bit more unwieldy than I thought it would be. It's a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger, or whatever than I thought it would be. You know, first picking up my first AR-15, and then I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, and trying to shoot offhand too is like way more difficult than you
Right.
ever realize as well. So I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, because then the video games, it
Add a
says you
grip.
stick a foregrip on there, and instantly your stability increases. So I put a foregrip on my first AR, and of course, like. Nothing happened. It's still just as bad. You know, and then you're like,
I
well,
love that.
maybe it's just because I'm using the old reflex red dot sight.
Yeah.
I gotta go
Change
up
it
to
up.
something
Yeah.
that's magnified. Nope, still bad.
Yeah, it is a
Call like,
lot
hey, I think
harder.
there's something wrong with your foregrip.
Yeah.
I'd like a refund, please.
Didn't increase my my stability percentage. But anyway, I don't know. More of this is more just for fun than anything. Obviously, hopefully, if you're going out there for the first time and you're getting into firearms, you do realize that real life is far different than the video games. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you can reminisce on some of the old games you used to play and stuff like that. So we'd love to hear what some of the listeners out there, some of the hilarious, perhaps, inconsistencies you have found between video games and real life, especially when it comes to shooting firearms. There's plenty just in terms of like, you know, you can't really jump off a building in real life and just kind of run away from it. But yeah, hit us up with those. And what do you think, guys? J-Mo, didn't you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to do a little Warzone
yeah.
squad shout out. We have a quad group, so it's 4 in the team, and I got my boy Sam Zimmer. Got my other buddy Mason and the other buddy Shu. And when they hear this, I'm gonna make them listen to it.
That guy's
Heck
name
yeah.
is Shu.
No, so long story short, his last name I'm not going to say, but everyone called him Moo. And then when we lived together, we started calling him Moo Moo Shoo Shoo, and then it just transformed to Shoo. So now we call him Shoo.
Okay.
So that's how a nickname was born.
My boy Shoe.
My
Make-
boy
Alright.
Shoo.
Makes
But
sense to
that's
this
my
guy.
squad. That's my squad.
Heck yeah.
Gonna
Shout
get a
out
dub.
J-Mo squad.
See you, Shoe.
He'll probably make up the 4 downloads we
Right.
get on this one. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you, Shoe.
Oh, very nice, Travis.
Jim, I can't believe you like looked at me and said, I don't know, like the last time you played a video game was probably this one. It's like, yeah, that was it.
I just figured. I was like extrapolating time and space in my head, and I was like, he's a GoldenEye kind of guy.
Yeah, that was a good game. GoldenEye and Mario Kart. Like that was those are literally the 2 video games I've played in my life.
I like it.
That's all right.
Other than like original Mario Bros, Zelda, like some old
Oh. Only 2
Asteroids.
video games I've ever played in my life, except for Zelda, Mario Bros.
And a
handful
handful
of other
we're like
Kirby,
so like
Kirby's
The list goes
Adventure, NFL Madden,
Ratchet and
NBA
Clank.
2K, yeah,
Munch's Odyssey.
Need for Speed.
I bet you guys never even played real Atari games.
I have an Atari.
You do?
Yes.
It was all the rage in college.
Seriously?
I think I have a 2700. Does that sound
2600.
2600?
You're close.
I've ruined my credibility.
Ours had like the cartridges that like plug in from the top.
And
Blow on it.
if it doesn't work,
I'm
you
not
blow
gonna
on
hit
it.
the
joystick with the button on the top.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well, I have the one with the button on the side, which is
that
kind of
one-
annoying. It's not very ergonomic.
You got a ColecoVision with the Atari adapter.
That's pretty dope.
Oh
Not gonna lie.
my
I like
god.
that. I have quite the collection of systems at home,
Do you?
dating back to the original Nintendo. So Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch,
So you have the whole
Game
thing.
Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy SP,
Jesus.
Nintendo DS, 3DS, and then that was the last one of that.
Start a museum.
And I also have
Do you have
Sega
the Game
Genesis.
Boy that folded up?
Yeah, that's the SP. I have the Sega Genesis, and then I have the Sega Dreamcast, which was the last system that Sega made. That one was sweet because its memory cards were these little VMUs that you could unplug, and then they were like little Game Boys of themselves with mini games. Those were sweet. And then, of course, I have every Xbox, every PlayStation.
Oh my
How many TVs do you have?
More than I should. I even sold a couple. I actually, most of these are just in boxes now. But I know that you hold on to these, their value is just every day
Yeah.
going up. So
I have a Game Boy Color Pokemon edition.
Yeah, is it the Pikachu one?
It is the
Yeah.
Pikachu
the
one.
yellow
That
one?
thing's worth like $400 right now.
Yeah, I know.
Christmas.
Even the Pokemon like yellow, red, and blue,
The
those
games?
go for like $40-$50 on eBay.
Yeah.
And then another interesting one, NCAA 15 was the last
Yes.
NCAA football game they made.
Really?
Yeah, the licensing, so college players wouldn't let them use their
Oh,
image
yeah,
and
with
likeness,
the
blah,
last
blah, blah.
names. Yeah, like
So anyways, they stopped doing it, and a guy from Barstool Sports, Big Cat, who's like one of their main dudes, started doing a dynasty mode on NCAA 15 over the lockdown, and copies were selling for $200 each because
Oh
people got
my
back into the game.
God.
It was
Crazy.
insane. It was the best game ever, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Better than Madden that year.
Oh, always.
Yep.
So
More realistic.
Going back to the well rod though,
Yeah.
B&T makes the VP9.
Really?
It is a modern day well rod.
BNT VP9.
B and
B
T,
and
like the
T.
and symbol. VP9. And if it's anything like the well rod, you should be able to just run about the woods
Yeah.
with your right hand sticking out.
Yep. Very
run around.
straight.
It's very straight.
the well rod, in
There it
case you
is.
were wondering.
Hey,
Yeah,
look at that.
looks like a
Car
tube.
muffler with a magazine off a Saturday Night Special. Welded right on.
And it looks like a hex wrench is the trigger.
Yeah.
Pull that back.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
horrible.
looking this up.
But anyway, you run around the woods with this thing, right? And of course, the deer would somehow computer stand there
Yeah.
until you trip some whatever thing. But you run around, then you see it and just
Yeah.
and make zero sound. And
Yep.
if you hit it anywhere, it's dead.
The other thing was in the Cabela's Big Game Hunter games, you used to be able to clip on your thermal imaging, and
Hell
you could
yeah.
just stand wherever, and you would just start panning around, and eventually you would see an animal, and there might be a million trees, and you'd shoot. Your bullet would either go through the trees and you'd kill it, or the only way you wouldn't kill it is if there was an actual mountain there, which implied that your thermal imaging was seen through the earth. Yeah. And you're shooting at something on the other side. And then it had bullet tracker mode, so you would know when you would shoot the mountain because you would shoot, boom,
And it would fly out,
Yeah,
and you'd
and
see
then-
it, and it would
yeah, and then you hit the mountain, you're
Yep.
like, oh shit, I shot
Yep.
the mountain.
It's behind the mountain.
Yeah, I guess I got to get over that hill before I shoot him.
Oh, good
Can't figure
times.
out why hunters are dropping.
Oh, I
off.
should have mentioned back in Black Ops how they had the hatchet,
Yeah,
as one of the
oh.
weapons. You could throw it a mile, and even if it deflected off 9 things
Just
and
keep
then just
bouncing.
rolled onto your
Boink.
hand, you
Dead.
would die.
Dude, it's
instantly.
true. Do you
Oh.
remember the throwing knife in
Yeah.
Black Ops where it was at the
Back
beginning
in-
of the game, some asshole would just figure out.
Yeah.
So you know what
And
they
he's
did?
get
Chuck
people.
it.
They turned off lethal grenades and equipment for the first 5 seconds. You can't do that anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
People
That
would
was
just
the
spawn,
best.
spawn throw grenades, hatchets, knives, everything, and you'd be like, all right, ready to play. Boom! Be like, this is stupid.
I loved
was
Black
even
Ops
fun.
because of
it
that.
was stupid.
It was
You just
stupid,
piss
but it
everyone
was,
off.
I know.
Yeah, it was the best. That was my whole goal.
Yeah.
That
for
was
video
like
games.
I used to get really sweaty into gun game.
Oh, yeah.
And
Gun game
game,
was
you
the
start out
best.
with, some
Level up
pistols,
every
yeah.
time.
And then at
Dude,
the end,
kill.
dudes are running around like this, and you're like, yeah, he's almost
Yeah,
done.
and
Yeah.
in gun game, if you stab them, they go back a level.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so then I would just go around and stab everyone. Make the game last an hour long.
When I was a freshman in college, we had a big 50-inch flat screen TV, which
Jeez,
at the
rich
time was
boy.
our dude. We all pooled up money.
Nice.
We
We
all,
bought a projector, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So one Friday night, me and my
Are rich
roommates were
assholes.
playing. I think we were playing. I don't know. We were either playing Modern Warfare or whatever. We were playing one of the Call of Duty games. My buddy, we were drinking a couple beers. No one was really even that tuned up. My one buddy died. Something happened to him, and he was super pissed off. Takes his controller and broke our TV.
No
Yep, he bought the new
way.
one.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we all got our money back.
What
An idiot.
Yeah.
At that point, everybody just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll turn this off now. Grant, take a
Man,
lap.
our biggest arguments in college was Super Smash Bros. Because we used to play 4 people and
Yep.
be 2s and 2s. And Mike, my roommate, was always worse than everyone. So everyone would bitch about who has to be on Mike's team. And by the end, everyone just hated it. Mike was like,
No,
I don't want to play anymore. You guys don't want me on your team. Why would I want to play? I'm out of here. And just
everybody
walked
hates
out.
me.
Yeah.
Every time we play this game, everybody hates me. They
He
all
did
throw-
drop
Oh my
out, so
God.
sorry.
That was
Smash
probably
Bros.
part of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Maybe if you guys were a little more inclusive.
Nope.
He should have been better at the game.
Yeah, dude.
All right, that'll wrap it up for this episode of the Vortex Nation podcast. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Hit that subscribe button so you can always stay up to date on the latest happenings over here at the Vortex Nation podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at Vortex Nation Podcast. Again, everybody, thanks and happy hunting and shooting. We appreciate it. Have a good one.